Can you see my presentation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what about the today's session is, so already we discussed about the development of care plan, right? So now today the last portion is how you can develop the action plan, right? So we are going to have some a brief idea about what is this action plan means, what are the benefits of having this action plan, and the components when you are developing action plan, what are the components you need to check, and at the same time what are the tips or what are the uh, steps that you can have in order to have a good action plan, right? So first we'll see what is this action plan means, right? So action plan is a kind of checklist for the steps or tasks that you need to complete in order to achieve the goals you have set. So soon after the assessment, we will plan our goals or the objectives that what we are going to achieve, right? So in that, the action plan is a kind of planning, right? So in the action plan, we are normally having a checklist in the sense it will have the steps, right? So or the tasks, so what are the steps that you are going to do in order to achieve your goals, or what are the steps you need to fulfill in order to achieve your goals. So it's a kind of checklist. So I think you all aware about this checklist because for your assignment purpose, I provided one checklist for the staff briefing, right? So that is a kind of action plan, right? So whenever you did anything, then you can mark whether you did or not. So that is checklist. So we can prepare a different kinds of checklist according to our goals or according to our planning and the issues or the problems which we are going to address, right? So, and also it is essential part of the strategic planning process and helps with improving teamwork and planning. Yes. So when we develop this action plan, mainly it helpful for encouraging the teamwork planning. Why? Because when planning this checklist, then where we can provide it or we can divide it each and every objectives to each and every people. So then they will come up with the checklist or they can come up with the plan what they need to do in order to achieve a particular goal. Or in other terms, we can have or we can develop a common checklist or the action plan by discussing with all the team members. So each and every team members, they have a separate ideas and solutions. Then what we can do, we can incorporate all the things and we can select, right? And we can arrange in order to develop a proper checklist. So that is also an action plan, right? So it is also essential. So this action plan is important in order to improve the team working at the same time, in order to have a proper strategic planning process. Action plans can be used by individuals to prepare a strategy to achieve their own personal goals as well. Yes, so this action plan again, it is helpful in order to achieve the goal set by each and every individual as well. So we can have this action plan not only for a group or the community, but for an each and every individual. So the action plan is, it is, we can apply this action plan to any person in any situations. Why? Because we are developing this action plan in order to achieve the goals. So whatever we are planning or whatever we are doing, so normally we will set a goal or the objective, right? So we will work in order to achieve that particular goal. So what you can do, even it can be a individual or a group, it's important to develop this action plan. For a simple example, think a person is going to lose his weight. So what he will do, so first he need to make some arrangements. That means a kind of planning, right? So what they can have a modifications in their diet, And what about the modifications in the exercises, their lifestyle modifications? So likewise, they needs to prepare some planning. So those planning, what they can do, they can prepare a kind of checklist, right? So checklist in the sense, so they can consult with the dietitian or the nutritionist, and then they will provide some kind of diet planning, right? And also they will provide some kind of exercise planning. So what they can do, an individual, so they can formulate, they can make in order that on Monday, what are the foods I need to take on in the morning, in the evening, and during the lunch. And how about the exercise, whether I did or not. Likewise, they can evaluate themselves as well, right? So this action plan is important in any sectors or any individual, because each and everyone, we are having our life and we are running to achieve any goals, right? It can be a work related or personal related or relationship related, whatever. So we are having one goal and we are running behind that goal in order to achieve that, right? So to complete or to attain that goal, we need to develop this action plan. So action plan in the sense, so a criteria, a task or the steps that we are arranging in order to achieve or complete our goals that we have pre-planned. So when we talk about the components, the elements of the action plan, so a typical action plan will contain a well-defined description of the goal to be achieved. Yes. So first you need to define your goal. You need to be clear what is your goal, what you are going to achieve. If you are clear on your goal only, you can have a proper action plan. So with that proper action plan, then you can achieve your goal. If you are not clear what you are going to achieve, then you have some problems or you will develop some difficulties when you plan, right? So the first and foremost thing, you need to have a well-defined and clear, appropriate description or idea about your goal. The second one, you can have a task or it can be a steps which needs to be carried out to reach your goal. So you can have some small task, or you can formulate some steps. That means a process in order to achieve your goal. People who will be in charge of carrying out each task. Yes. So if it's an individual goal attainment, then okay. So each and every individual is a responsible one who is going to achieve. But consider if it is a teamwork. For example, if a company needs to accomplish or achieve any goal in the sense, so all the people, it's a kind of teamwork, right? So we should appoint a leader for a team. So who is responsible for supervising the works of other people. Then one needs to be assembled, or one need to be assigned for coordination, and one needs to be assigned for the paperwork. Likewise, so when you are developing an action plan to carry out a organizational or institutional goal, so you need to be very careful, or you need to be very conscious about the people who are involving to carry out each and every task. When will these tasks be completed? Yes. So when you are planning your goal, at the same time, you need to plan the duration of the action plan as well. So because without the duration, you can't complete anything. So at the same time, when you are planning the goal, you need to plan the time. That means within 1 week of the month, or that means within 1 week, or within 6 months, or within 1 year, I need to achieve this goal, right? So likewise, you need to plan your time duration. Resources needed to complete the task. Yes, again, you need to check before commencing or before putting your task or steps into practice. You need to be clear whether all the resources are available which are needed for your action plan. It can be a manpower, or it can be a technological support, or the financial support, or other social supports, whatever the supports that you are needed according to your action plan, you need to be check, right, whether the resources are available or not. And the second thing, you need to evaluate the progress. Yes. So just planning your action and implementing is not the case. So once you implement, the soon after you need to evaluate or you need to check the progress, right? How the imposed action plan is going on. So whether it is going on in a smooth way or whether I can complete it with the available resources within the particular or the target time duration, or whether the action plan is good enough to complete or attain my goal. So likewise, what you need to do, you need to check. So these are the major components that you need to consider when you are developing your action. So there are some benefits. So benefits or the importance, right? So why? The question why? Why we need to have this action plan? Okay. So first one is it gives you a clear direction. As an action plan highlights exactly what steps to be taken and when they should be completed. You will know exactly what you need to do. Yes. So just soon after the assessment, you will identify the problems or the issues what you are going to fulfill. Then according to that, what you will so just identifying the issues and the problem is not the case, right? And soon after that, yes, again you will formulate a goal and then you will plan all together and you start to impose. So if you do all the things collectively, so sometimes you also may in some situations at some point you also may get confused, right? If there are no any systematic way of doing, then you also may have some confused whether you are doing in a right way or not. So, and even after the implication of your planning, then sometimes you may arise whether you have planned a proper planning or whether your goals are correct or not. So, for resolving all these problems, this action plan is very much important. Why? So, during in the action plan, you are just defining your goal clearly. So, this is the goal that I am going to achieve, right? And to achieve those goals, you are going to have a separate steps or the task. So first what I need to do, then after that what I need to do. So it's a kind of checklist. So what you can do, if the first step, if you done the first step, then you can have some marking. So I'm done. Then you can go for the second one. Then again, once you finish it, you can mark it. So at the end of the progress or the end of the goal achievement, you can have, that means at the end of the particular plan duration, now you can have some a progress report, right? So then with that you can check whether you have completed all the tasks or steps. So if you completed all the tasks or steps, then yes, actually it's obvious, right? You achieve your goal. And at the same time in the checklist you can include how you are achieving, that means how you are doing your each and every task, whether it is in optimal range or whether it is below the expected range. So likewise again you can have some evaluation, right? So in that sense what it will provide a clear clarification or clear directions in which direction you are going to work in order to achieve your goal. So for that is the most important benefit for developing this action plan. And the second one is, yes, you can have your goals written down and planned out in steps will give you a reason to stay motivated and committed through the project, right? Another important thing is action plan is similarly you are going to write in a formal document, right? So it is not it can be you can type it or you can write it. So however, it's a kind of written document, right? It's not a verbal one or it's not any imaginary activity. So you are having some documents. So what the importance or what the use of this having the written document is, so you can see or you can have an access each and every day, right? So once you go through each and every document, that means each and every day, once you start to go through the document, you can have some motivation in the sense you can check whether you are doing all the things in a correct manner. So whether you have left any option. So if you go through those things, then you can identify your mistakes clearly. And you can identify if you need to do more. Then it will helpful for you to enhance your planning and you do or work more and more. So that is the kind of motivation that you can have when you develop this action plan, because all the action plans are having in a written format, which will be easy access, right? With an action plan, you can track your progress to your goals. So yes, that is also important. Just planning and doing or imposing is not enough, right? You need to check your progress. How? You need to evaluate. Check your progress in the sense you need to evaluate your progress or your action plan. So this action plan is important to track your progress, how you are working in order to achieve your goal. So if you work in this manner, will you achieve within the targeted time period or not? Likewise, you can have. Why? Because it is a written format. Since you are listing down all the steps you need to complete in your action plan, it will help you prioritize your task based on effort and impact, right? So yes, so since you are listing down, it needs to complete your action plan. And at the same time, you can prioritize your task. Why? Because in the action plan, you are listing, right? What are the things that you need to do? So when we take about a group activity, so you can ask all the people suggestions. Then you can write it down in one paper or whatever. You can incorporate all the ideas. Then within those ideas, you can prioritize. So which is most important one? Which idea needs to be done at first, right? So likewise, you can do or you can have a prioritized task. So if you identify the immediate and the prioritized task in the sense, what it will do, then so your action plan or the attainment of goal also will be more easy, feasible, right? And also it will be more effective because you know what needs to be done immediately and what the things needs time to do. So if it is in a listed manner in the action plan, so you can attain the goals in a very effective and an efficient manner, right? So these are the benefits of developing this action plan. And now we'll move to how to develop an action plan. So now you plan. So now you are going to have, or now you are going to develop your action plan. So there are some steps in order to develop your action plan. So if you follow these steps in a proper manner, then you will have a good action plan. So first, as we already saw, right? First, you need to define your end goal. End goal in the sense, your goal, your objective. So why you are making this action plan. So you need to plan your goal according to the SMART criteria. So you all know what is the SMART criteria is, right? So specific, measurable, attainable, reliable, and time, right? So normally whenever you are planning a goal, right? It can be any setting when you are planning, it should be according to the SMART criteria. So why we are planning according to the SMART criteria? Because it will be more helpful in order to define your goal, right? So first what you need to do at first, you need to define your goal. That means you need to clearly define what is your goal is. Then the second step is list down the steps to be followed. So it can be steps or tasks. That means in order to achieve your defined goals, what things you are going to do. So what are you going to do in a small task manner? Or are you going to do it in a process? So process in the sense are you going to have some steps, right? So you need to list down first step, second step, third step. Likewise, you need to list down, or you can have some first task, second task, or the third task. Important that you make sure that the entire team is involved in the process. So if it is a teamwork, yes, you need to be involved, all the team members who are involving. Make sure that each task is clearly defined and is attainable. Yes. So just formulating or proposing a task is not enough. So when you are proposing any task or step, you need to be very, very clear whether each and every task could be attainable. That means could be achieved or not. Why? Because at the end of the completion of all the tasks only, your goal could be achieved. So in that sense, if any planned task not achievable, so what will happen? It directly going to affect your end achievement or the expected outcome. So in that sense, when you are planning, you need to know whether the planned task could be easily attainable or not. So this is your second step. Third one, prioritize the task and at deadlines, right? Yes, again. So when you are working in a group, so you can incorporate all the personals and then each and everyone having a different ideas. So you can collect all the ideas, then rearrange according to the priority. And also, when you are developing an action plan, it is better to add some deadlines. Deadline in the sense, so the time duration. So you can have some due dates. Why? So having or applying the due dates also can enhance the motivation of each and every person. Because so it's also a kind of goal achievement, right? So they need to finish within 2 months of period in the sense. So 1st of January is the deadline in the sense, then they will always think about that they need to submit on 1st of January. So they will do the arrangements and working according to that time period. But think about if there are no any deadline or the scheduled time, then what will think the people also become lazy. Why? They will think that it is okay to submit or it is okay to complete whenever we want, right? So it is also going to have a bad impact or the effect in order to achieve the goal. So the third steps, yes. So you need to add the deadlines and make sure that they are realistic. Realistic in the sense you need to know whether within that period of time we can achieve or not, right? So how we can identify, it depends on the goal that we are putting, right? Consult with the person responsible for carrying it out to understand his or her capacity before deciding on deadline. Yes. So at the same time, when you are preparing or when you are imposing the deadline, you need to be know whether the task that we plan can be finished within the proposed deadline or not. That means before imposing the deadline. At the same time, you need to check the person who are involving in that particular task, whether he or she can complete it, whether they are having a capacity, right? So you need to think all the manner, all the dimension, then only you can have a deadline. So without considering all those things, with your will, you can't have any deadlines, right? So why? Because your capacity is different from the people who are carrying out each and every task. So according to that, you can't put the deadlines in that manner. So before putting the deadline, what you need to do, you need to check each and every person who are involved. Sometimes some people are very highly capable to complete within the, so for example, some people, they can complete a work within 1 month, which we have proposed the duration as a 2 months. But some people, they actually need 2 months to finish. Why? Because the capacity of each and every personals are different. So before imposing or putting any deadlines, you need to explore each and every one regarding their capacity and whether, although they provided or put their effort, whether the time duration is okay to achieved or not. So you need to think all the dimension and incorporate this deadline. So that is your third step. Fourth step is set the milestone. So milestones can be defined as a mini goal. So normally we are putting or we are having one large goals, right? So large goal. So in that large goal, that means, for example, simple example. So weight reduction within 6 months of period. It's your main goal. So milestone in the sense you can have a mini goals, right? Mini goal in the sense within 1 month of period, how many weight you need to reduce. For example, 5 kilo of weight reduction within 1 month of period, right? Or in 1 week, how much you are going to lose. So likewise, we are going to have some mini goals, right? So under the major goal, we are having some specific called the mini goals. So why we are having these mini goals? Again, these mini goals also helpful in order to achieve the main goal in a quick manner and also in an effective manner. Why? Because only just focus rather than just focusing on the main goal, if you have these mini goals, so your focus also going to become easy, right? Because the 6 month duration is a large part when compared to 1 month. So what you will do, okay, so within 1 month, I need to lose 5 kilo means, then you will start to work in order to achieve that mini goal, right? Then again for the second month, again you are going to work. So it will motivate you more and more. So that motivation will enhances your working capacity. So you work more and more in order to achieve. So ultimately, it will going to affect your large goal. So if you work and if you start to focus on your mini goals, and at the end, what will happen? You can achieve your the major goal in an effective and efficient manner, right? So that is the importance of setting this milestone as a fourth step. And the fifth steps, yes, you need to identify the resources, right? So you need to check, as I already told you, it can be any resources, a man resource, a financial, or any other social support, or it can be any technological, any other animal or the plant, whatever the support or the resources you need in order to develop your or achieve your goal, you need to be ensured, right? Because without the resources also, you can't complete any task. It is crucial to ensure that you have all the necessary resources at hand to complete the task. Yes, at the same time, you need to plan whether the resources will be adequate and available up to until the completion of your target. Why? If you plan only for the 2 or that means the shorter period of time, sometimes you may become run out of your necessary resources once you reach the end. So again, it's going to cause a problem. Why? Because if there are no any resources, so you may again start to suffer in order to attain your goal. So at the very beginning, you need to have a clear understanding about the resource allocation as well. So if it is a 1 year project in the sense, how much it cost, how much manpower, how many hours each and every person needs to work. What about the technological advancement, right? So likewise, you need to pre-plan all the resource allocation at the early as well. So that is your fifth step. Sixth step will be visualize your action plan. The point of this step is to create something that everyone can understand at a glance and that can be shared with everyone. Yes. So visualize your action plan is now you prepared all the things, right? So your action plan is now ready. So when you are including, even it can be a word, so whatever you are describing in your action plan as a written document, it needs to be understandable by all the people, right? So whoever the people involving, because as a group work in the sense, each and everyone, they have separate tasks. So they needs to propose their action plan. So in that sense, what you need to do, so all the members needs to understand at one glance in the sense they needs to be understand at once. So no need to explain more and more or several times. So at one time they needs to understand, or when they are reading your written document, it should be very understandable manner at one glance, in the sense how it is better to have some listed forms. So whatever you did, what about your task, you can have some checklist. So that's why we are using this action plan, because under the action plans, we are not going to use a paragraphs or large sentences, right? It's a kind of pointing format. So the pointing format is very useful in order to see all the activities at glance. So, and although you are pointing all the works, So first you need to point all the important works what you did, and the words that you are going to use also very, very simple, which can be understood by each and everyone. So once you completed your action plan, you need to share with the other persons as well, right? So that is your sixth step. And the final step, yes. So just preparing is not enough. What you need to do, you need to monitor, evaluate, and again, you need to update, right? So you can't use a same action plan over and over years. You need to be updated according to the change of settings. Allocate some time to evaluate the progress. This will also bring out the tasks that are pending or delayed, in which case you need to figure out why and find suitable situation. Yes, so sometimes your under the evaluation only you can identify some task that you have planned couldn't be attained, or sometimes it may take some time delay, right? So in that sense, if you have some evaluation only, you can identify those problems and you can work according to sort out those problems, right? And once you sort out the problems, that means once you come up with the solutions, then again you need to update, right? Because now your action plan is going to change, so you need to again update it, and again you need to share with the others as a updated version, right? So these are the steps that you need to include when you are developing your action plan. Yes, so the action plan in the sense you can have for any activities, right? But if it's a kind of issues, so if you have some problems, right? So normally action plan we can develop in order to sort out any problems or in order to achieve any goals or anything, right? So if it is a problem, that means if you identified any issues or problems within the workplace or when you are working, so how you are going to develop your action plan in order to resolve those things, right? So normally in the action plan, we are going to define the goal. So instead of goal, if it is an issue, you need to define, you need to clearly define about the problem. What is the problem? What is the solution is, right? Then you need to collect a data and you need to analyze the data regarding the problems, right? So collect the data in the sense how this problem occurs, what are the causes of this problem, and after analyzing in the sense what are the impacts or the consequences of the problem, how much the benefits or how much the people get affected. So likewise you need to collect, at the same time you need to analyze the data for the particular problem. Then with that analysis, you can clarify and prioritize the problem, right? So if more than one problem occurs, so in between that, with the analysis only, you can have some clarification. Which problem needs to sort out at first and which need to be sort out later. That means which have the more prominency. So once soon after the analysis only, you can have those clarification. With that clarification, you can have a prioritize. And once you prioritize the problem, now you can write a goal statement for each solution, right? That means you are now going to have plan a goal. So goal in the sense how you are going to solve this problem. It's a kind of solution. So solution is a goal. Then whatever the solutions you are implemented, now you are going to, that means whatever the solutions you have find out, you are going to impose in the practice in order to resolve that problem. So once you implement and resolve those, that means once you implement or impose for each and every problem, then what you need to do, again, you need to monitor and evaluate it, right? Because monitoring and evaluation is important. So after the evaluation and monitor, if you find out any changes, what you need to do, you need to update it and restart with a new problem or refine the old problem, right? So in the sense, so once you, after the monitor and evaluations, if you think that the particular solution for a particular problem sort out, then you can go for the new problem, right? That means if there are more than one problem exists, then you can go for the second problem. Or what you can do, if you find out that your planning is not effective, then you can update it and you can refine in the sense you can make changes again with the old problem. So this is how you are going to resolve an issue or problem with the help of action plan, right? So yes, so that is I want to finish because that's the small part I left under the assessment module, right? So are you all clear up to now? Or do you have any doubts? I'm asking if you have any doubts so far throughout this 6 month of period. So do you have any doubts or regarding today's session? You can ask if you have any doubts or more clarification.
No, ma'am, all clear.
Okay. So others, so you can, okay. So I hope that you can get your lecture note access through the MS Teams because all the lecture notes I uploaded. At the same times, yes, you can go through the recordings as well. It also available. So I think 3 or 4 recordings I missed to upload, but after that I uploaded all the recordings under this as a second module, right? So you can go through those recordings as well, but you make sure that recordings will be available only up to 21 or 14 days, right? So after that, you are not able to get those recordings, right? So yes. So what I need to tell is I'm very much happy to have a lectures with you because throughout the 6 month of period, yes, I discuss and you also uh, come up with some answers or and we had some small discussions also. And also, I hope that you have completed your assignments, 2 assignments for the first module. Yes, again, for the second module also you need to complete. And although we are going to finish it now today, so whenever you have any questions related to your assignments, when you are developing your assignments, or if you have any problems related to your future career path also, you can feel free to ask me. I'm here. Sometimes in the busy schedule, I may not reply you oftenly, but if it is not, yes, I will reply you and I'm here to share my experience and ideas as well. So it's not the issue. You can contact me whenever you want, right? So I wish you all the very best. So once you complete it, you can search more career pathways. So some you can have some, you can, I think I am telling that you can have some higher educations. So, and also if you are interested to work, yes, again you are having so much opportunities to work because health and social sector is the wide area, right? So when wherever you go, you can get any kind of opportunities, right? So it's a broad opportunities available in the health sector. So yes, that I want to tell you. So do your second assignment as well. So please follow the guidelines, whatever I told you in the previous class, because it is not similar like the previous assignments, right? And if you develop any questions or further clarification, yes, contact me. And yes, again, I want to wish you all the very best. So, so
Yes,
I asked only about, yes.
yes, Ms. Shamali, I would like to take this opportunity to thank you because you are a very knowledgeable person and we gained a lot of knowledge from your lectures and the lectures were done brilliantly. So thank you so much for everything. Thank you for giving us knowledge to continue our, future endures. And thank you very much, Shamini, ma'am.
Thank you very much. So yes, it's really a means to it means a lot to me. So thank you for your complimentary words. Yes, yes, you can contact me whenever you need. If you have any doubts, yes, you can contact me. Yeah, so that's why to finish this small session only, I took this 1 hour period to complete that small part, which is also important for your assign, right? So yes, again, if you are not having any doubts or any clarifications, I think we can wind up our sessions. What about opinion?
John, we failed you for last 6 months. You gave us a big knowledge and you explained each and everything relating to your 2 modules. So we got a lot of knowledge from you and uh, thank you very much. I am grateful. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you for your words again. So thank you so much.
Then I also want to thank you for your wonderful lecture up to now. I have gained knowledge through schooling. So I have gained knowledge from you. Thank you for motivating us. Actually, you are a brilliant lecturer. I have ever met. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much again.
Thank you very much, Miss. Your valuable lectures and valuable advices. You are totally faithful and mm, a friendly lecture. Again, thank you very much, Miss. Improve my knowledge.
Yes, and thank you very much. So, yes, I am also happy to meet you all. And at the same time, yes, again, I am wishing you all the very best because you need to just please go through all the opportunities that you are having, right? So you can have continue your higher education, or if it is career, that means the job in the sense, yes, please explore whatever the opportunities are there and just please choose the best one, okay, best one for your capacity. Again and again I am telling that. And yes, again, so there are no any things to say. Yes, whatever you have any problem, just please contact me. So I hope that there are no any other doubts because only 6 people are here now. So I think that we can wind up the session, right?
Thank you very much.
Yeah. So thank you very much for you all and have a bright future. So bye bye.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much.